Hello everyone, and welcome back to UK Homicide. Today, we are looking at the senseless murders of Bibaa Henry and Nicole Smallman. They were found murdered and intertwined by their family on June 6, 2020, after a family celebration for Bibaa's 46th birthday in Friant Country Park in Wembley, northwest London, by their family. What happened, and who could have committed such an appalling act against these sisters, described as vibrant, loving, and deeply compassionate individuals? To maintain their privacy, I will refer to people by their initials only outside the immediate family. Bibaa lived in Harrow and Nicole Smallman in Wembley. Both are boroughs in northwest London. Harrow has a population of 260,000 and Wembley 103,000. Bibaa worked as a senior social worker, focusing on helping vulnerable people. Her caring nature and dedication to supporting those in need were highlighted. Her family and colleagues described her as compassionate, empathetic, and dedicated to making a difference in the lives of others. Nicole was a freelance photographer known for her creative and artistic talents. Her work reflected her vibrant personality and was celebrated for capturing beauty in everyday moments. On the evening of June 5, 2020, Bibaa and Nicole were celebrating Bibaa's 46th birthday with family. It was the first time they had gathered after the easing of the COVID-19 lockdown to allow people to meet outside. The party was happy, with friends bringing blankets, food, and fairy lights to illuminate the park. The sisters stayed late into the night, dancing and enjoying each other's company after their friends had left. At 1:13 a.m. on June 6th, Nicole texted her boyfriend Adam, saying, "I'm dancing in a field." This was the last known communication from either sister. At 1:26 a.m., Bibaa's phone was locked as someone without the code tried to access it. After the sisters were reported missing, the police response was incredibly slow, prompting family and friends to do their own search party. On Sunday, June 7th, Bibaa's friend, N.E., and Nicole's boyfriend Adam searched different areas of Friant Country Park. N.E. found a pair of Bibaa's sunglasses. Quote, "I saw them glinting in the sun and my heart sank. I just knew she would not have left them behind." She called the police, who dismissively told her to take them to a local police station. Adam and his parents continued to search. He found Nicole's sunglasses and left them where they lay, just in case. Mr. Stone's father found a knife, and Adam saw shoes in the undergrowth. He had found Nicole, his girlfriend of 6 years, and her sister Bibaa. Now lifeless, the sisters were intertwined, and there were visible stab wounds. Adam dropped to his knees, screaming. His mum said, quote, "It was like the whole world stopped at that point." Adam then phoned Mina, the sister's mum, and texted N.E., who was searching another area. He used the exact phrase for the call and text, saying, "I found them. They're gone." The delay in the police response was widely condemned, with accusations of systemic racism and bias. The Independent Office for Police Conduct later concluded that the police's service to the family had been unacceptable, and an apology was issued. Mina said, "If these girls had been white, they'd have been treated differently." However, the police misconduct did not stop with the slow report of missing persons. PC Jaffer and PC Lewis were assigned to guard the scene in the park. Still, they left their post to take pictures of the sisters' bodies, which they later shared on a WhatsApp group with colleagues and others. This act was described by the judge, Mark Lucraft, as a cheap thrill. This disgusting disrespect for the dignity of the girls shocked the UK as a whole, leading to widespread condemnation. Mina, the sisters' mum, said their behavior was sacrilegious. "Those police officers felt so safe, so untouchable. They dehumanized our children." Furthermore, she highlighted how this incident eroded public trust in the police, calling their actions pure misogyny. Mina also spoke about the broader issues of racism in the way her daughters' deaths were handled, believing the police initially gave little attention to the case due to the victims being black women from a council estate. She has since worked to raise awareness about these systemic issues and police misconduct. In other press conferences, Mina also took the opportunity to address broader societal issues, calling for reform within the police force, as well as raising awareness of violence against women and the racial disparities in how such cases are handled. The officers were charged with misconduct in public office and pleaded guilty. During the trial, it was revealed that they shared images in not just one, but multiple WhatsApp groups, including a group called the A-Team, which had 41 officers. If that wasn't enough, they used inappropriate language to describe the victims. PC Lewis even superimposed his face onto a picture, making a selfie at the scene. Both men were found to have violated the privacy and sanctity of the crime scene, an act that even their own defense lawyers admitted was shameful and disrespectful. In December 2021, Jaffer and Lewis were each sentenced to 2 years and 9 months in prison. Judge Lucraft emphasized that their actions were a severe breach of public trust. Jaffer resigned from the police force before the trial, and Lewis was dismissed following the charges. Once the investigation was correctly underway, forensic teams discovered blood at the scene that did not belong to either sister. This DNA would be linked to 18-year-old Daniel Hussein through a family member's police database profile. Surveillance footage and records of Hussein buying knives and other items before the murders would be added to the case against him. The motive behind the murders of Bibaa Henry and Nicole Smallman was rooted in Hussein's delusional belief system that he had made a pact with a demonic entity. A letter found in his bedroom read, "For the mighty King Lucifuge Rofakale, who is apparently the treasurer of hell. Perform a minimum of 6 sacrifices every 6 months, for as long as I am free and physically capable. Sacrifice only women, build a temple for you, do everything that I have promised." Underlined were "for me," and win the Mega Millions super jackpot. It continued, "To receive fruitful rewards for the future sacrifices I make to you. The rewards could consist of wealth and power, to never be suspected of any crimes by the police, and also that the police will never know of any crimes that I have done and I will do." This letter was signed in his blood. At trial, Daniel Hussein was represented by Carmi Jones KC. He pleaded not guilty to the charges and refused to take the stand in his defense. Instead of providing direct testimony, he attempted to explain his injuries sustained during the attack by claiming that he had been robbed the previous night. On a side note, Hussein told one doctor at Northwich Park Hospital that he had been attacked by a group of boys, and another that he had been mugged. However, this was obviously not supported by any evidence. He also canceled his debit card to hide his murder purchases. Throughout the proceedings, Carmi Jones suggested that there were still many unanswered questions surrounding the events. She described him as little more than a child with significant issues, seeking to highlight his mental state and background. This description would be destroyed by Mrs. Justice Whipple. The prosecution was led by Oliver Glasgow KC, and he presented overwhelming forensic evidence, including Hussein's DNA blood that we looked at earlier. Additionally, CCTV footage showed him purchasing knives and other items used in the attack and walking to and from the park. CCTV was used to show the sisters celebrating Bibaa's birthday in Friant Country Park shortly before their murders. These videos helped establish the timeline of events leading up to the attack. CCTV did not capture the crime itself due to the park's remote location. Post-mortem results for Bibaa and Nicole revealed that both sisters had been stabbed multiple times. Bibaa 8 times and Nicole 40. The post-mortem also supported the forensic evidence found at the scene that Hussein was injured during his attack. Bibaa showed no defensive wounds, but Nicole fought back, cutting Hussein and sustaining substantial defensive wounds. He then dragged them into bushes and staged the girls in an embrace. Hussein was convicted in October 2021 and sentenced in December at the Old Bailey. Due to his age, he was 18 at the time of the murders, he avoided a whole life sentence. Instead, he got a life sentence with a 35-year minimum. Hussein was held in the high-security prison HMP Belmarsh during his sentencing. In sentencing, Justice Whipple said, "You meticulously planned these murders. On June 3rd, you ordered various items from Amazon, including a balaclava and 2 folding shovels. Later that day, you went to Asda, a UK supermarket, where you purchased a knife block, including the knife that was found on the ground in the park, with blood stains and Nicole's DNA all over it. On June 5th, these items were all in the rucksack you were carrying when you entered the park. Were all intended for use in the commission of these murders. You wore latex gloves as you entered the park because you knew what you were about to do. This was a deliberate course of conduct, planned and carried out precisely. The funeral of Bibaa and Nicole was a private and deeply emotional event attended by close family and friends. It was a moment for their loved ones to honor and remember the sisters' lives away from public attention. Following the funeral, there were public vigils held to honor their memory, including a big gathering at Friant Country Park, where the sisters were last seen alive. This event was organized by groups like Reclaim These Streets. It drew attention not just to the sisters' lives, but also to the broader issues of violence against women, systemic racism, and the need for police accountability. Notable figures, including London Mayor Sadiq Khan and other community leaders, attended to pay their respects and support the call for justice. A summary of this case's key events shows us that June 3, 2020, Hussein bought a balaclava and 2 folding shovels from Amazon. June 3, 2020, Hussein bought a knife block from Asda. June 5, 2020, Bibaa and Nicole celebrate Bibaa's birthday with friends. June 6, 2020, the sisters are reported missing by worried family members after not returning home. June 7, 2020, their bodies are discovered by Nicole's boyfriend of 6 years, Adam Stone. June 2020, PC Deniz Jaffer and PC Jamie Lewis took inappropriate photographs of the crime scene. July 1, 2020, Daniel Hussein is arrested after DNA links him to the scene. June 16, 2020, Hussein cancels his bank card to try and hide his murder purchases. October 2021, Hussein is convicted of the murders. December 2021, PC Jaffer and PC Lewis are imprisoned for 2 years and 9 months. December 2021, Hussein is sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 35 years. Despite the public outrage towards the police handling of this case, there has not been a formal public inquiry into the murders. The Independent Office for Police Conduct found no direct evidence that the police's failures were racially motivated. However, Mina Smallman has repeatedly stated that racial bias did contribute to the lack of urgency in the police response. The murders of Bibaa Henry and Nicole Smallman have left a profound legacy, impacting conversations on race, policing, and violence against women. 1. Police accountability and reforms. One of the most significant aspects of the legacy is the spotlight it placed on police misconduct and institutional failings. The mishandling of the sisters' missing persons case and the inappropriate actions by officers at the crime scene led to calls for deeper reforms within the Metropolitan Police. Number 2. Racial bias in media and policing. Mina Smallman highlighted how the media and police initially downplayed the case, suggesting that the deaths of her daughters were treated differently because they were Black women from a council estate. Her advocacy has brought attention to systemic racism in the UK, encouraging public scrutiny of disparities. 3. Violence against women. The sisters' deaths were part of a broader conversation about violence against women in the UK, alongside cases like those of Sarah Everard. Their murders have enabled there to be more conversations on gender-based violence. Together, these elements contribute to a lasting legacy of awareness, advocacy, systemic change, and racial and gender-based violence. Quotes from family and friends included, "A beautiful soul who always saw the best in people. A natural ability to bring people together. She had a joyful and free-spirited personality that captivated those around her. She created kindness with a love for life, vibrant, loving, and deeply compassionate individuals." Thank you for listening to the story of Bibaa and Nicole. Take care, stay safe, and look out for each other. Until next time, bye.